Hello and welcome to my channel Computer Classes by Rachna. So we are discussing triggers. If you have not seen the previous video, kindly go to my playlist for database triggers and then go through that video and then come to this one again. So we have already done what are triggers. Now we are discussing the different types of triggers. So we have row level triggers, and within row level triggers we have before row trigger and after row trigger. So before row trigger means a trigger that occurs before insertion, updation or deletion of a row. It may be used to change the values of the currently processed row also. For example, the first way to create a trigger is create or replace trigger. This is the first statement. Then we give the name of the trigger before insert trigger. This is a name that we are giving. It's a user defined name. Now before insert on. So this is the statement that we use for before. Now this is for insertion of rows. So before insert on student. Student is the table name. Then for each row begin. This is how we give the syntax. So I'll explain the entire syntax again, but just for your knowledge, you must know that one is before row trigger, which means a trigger which occurs before a row is created, and then you have the after row trigger. So after row trigger means the trigger which operates after the row is inserted, updated or deleted. So this trigger fires when the row is already inserted, updated or deleted, and the other one, before row trigger, fires before the insertion, updation or deletion of the row. So then you also have instead of row trigger, which enables you to create some customized action, some custom action for your operation, which is not the usual action. So these are the three for row triggers. Then you also have statement level triggers. That means no matter how many rows are impacted, a trigger event on a table always fires a statement level trigger. So statement level trigger can be fired no matter how many rows are impacted. So this occurs before the execution of SQL query. So it's a before statement trigger, and it can be used to take actions or validation before processing the statement. Then you have after statement trigger, which occurs after the execution of SQL statement. And then you also have the database level triggers. The database level triggers means startup triggers. This activates after the database is initialized. It is used to undertake the activities or carry out particular operations during the starting of the database. After that, we have shutdown triggers, which occurs when the database is shutting down. When we are no longer using the database, we use the shutdown trigger, which can be used for cleaning tasks, to carry out particular operations on shutdown, to clean the memory, etc. Then you have DDL triggers, which are used along with the create, alter or drop statements. Then you also have instead of triggers separately for views and files, which are used to take custom actions. And last is the log on triggers, which we use when we log into the database using user IDs and passwords. So these are the different types. Now let's see how we create a database trigger. So I'll explain this with an example. So let's say we have this for creating a trigger. So first statement is create or replace trigger. This is a keyword trigger. Then we give the name of the trigger. I can give T1, T2, before trigger, after trigger, any name can be given. Then we write down before, after or instead of, based on whether it will be a before trigger or an after trigger or an instead of trigger. Now we give whether this is for insert statement or update or delete statement. And then we give off and then column name. So for which column we are creating a trigger, we can mention that. On which table we are creating a trigger, we can mention that. Then we can refer to old as O and new as N for some tables. Then for each row, and then we give when condition. So when the condition will be met, the trigger will be created. So then we give the declaration statements of PLSQL, then we give begin statements for PLSQL, then we give except, and then we give end. So the last 4 points are the normal PLSQL statement. So this is the explanation of whatever I have told you.